What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's Wise 5 Picks stream. We have some good news. Ben is back.
What up?
Ben is vaccinated, which is also good news. That was the reason that he was not here originally. What's up, Larry? Thanks for tuning in.
What's up, Larry?
What's up, everyone else in the chat?
I'm unstoppable now.
Why? Oh yeah, Ben is literally unstoppable.
I'm invincible, unstoppable, you name it.
So yeah, we got, as always, 5 MLB picks today. Plus, we have some NBA picks coming to you from Ben. I watched.
Yeah, I got a few actually official, not just leans. I like a few today.
Love to see it. I mean, I watched, I think, my first 2 quarters of NBA basketball all year yesterday in the Nuggets Blazers game. It was a good game for the Nuggets, although I can't say that I was too impressed with just the play overall.
Because the Blazers were just we'll get them. We'll get them in Game 3.
Yeah, back alive after that TikTok. Good morning, J Money.
Oh yeah, that blew up.
Did you have a TikTok that popped off?
I mean, sort of. It was pretty funny though. So
It
I
popped off
basically
for a
made
reason.
the TikTok, and at the end of the video, I'm like, I'm not posting this shit. And I did.
You posted
Little
anyways.
play on words.
Yeah. So, quick recap of the unfortunate situation that we had on Saturday when Ben was gone. It was a 1-in-4 day, but it was like the worst luck 1-in-4 day of all time. And I say that a decent amount, but it really was. So Baltimore Washington over 9, that hit easily. That was a no sweat. That hit in like the second or third inning. Cubs money line, they lost by 1 in extra innings. We had Rangers team total under 3.5. I don't know what was going on with McCullers. He struck out 4 guys in the first inning, and that kind of tells you where his command was in that game. I think it was his worst outing of the season, and then the bullpen gave up like 5 runs. We had Robbie Ray over 7.5 strikeouts. He had an 0-2 count on the guy for the 8th K, and then didn't get it. And then Minnesota Cleveland, no runs first inning. We're in the bottom of the first, 2 outs, nobody on, and then that loses.
Yeah,
So-
that one was. Ugh.
But I mean, it happens. We get good luck sometimes. We get bad luck sometimes. I think the Rangers read was kind of a bad read, but I don't dislike any of the other reads that I had. That'll even itself out. The luck will even itself out. 5 picks coming up today. Not gonna have that kind of luck again. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. You ready, Ben? Also, what's
I'm
up,
ready.
Saucy?
One last thing. It's
Yeah.
such a long MLB season. I mean, in theory, where are we at in the season? We're not even a third through the season, right?
I don't
Or
think
maybe
so.
a fourth, something like that. So, it's a long season. Gotta play it day by day. So I'm not worried at all.
Yep, no, neither am I. Don't piss off the baseball gods. No, we make human
Gotta have 'em on
sacrifices
our
to the
sides.
baseball gods every day. Wait, what?
Oh yeah,
Did I say that on camera?
Saucy, you don't know what to eat for breakfast, man. So, sunflower seeds.
I had a bowl of cereal. Feeling great.
All right, I'm liking today's.
Yeah, I feel
I'm
good.
liking
I feel
them.
good about today's picks.
This was one of those slates that there was a lot of like good value once you kind of dove in. That's how I felt, at least.
Yeah, that's how I felt as
So-
well. So we actually only have 3 games represented in our picks today, which is a little bit weird. I don't think we've ever done that before. I think we've had 4 before, but never only 3. But I think that kind of just shows how much we like some of these games. So first play that we have is going to be Cardinals money line at plus 133. I saw somebody post, I think it was Jack posted about this earlier in the Discord, and I was like, yeah, I agree. Not going to comment on it right now, but absolutely love the value here at plus money. I don't understand why they keep pricing the Cardinals at plus money against other good pitchers. I mean, Flaherty is kind of pitching that well. So Ben, I know this is also one that you liked, right?
It is. It is. I can start this one off.
Yeah. Have at it.
I mean, I'm going to keep it pretty simple here. Jack Flattery, he's been really good. He had one start at the beginning of the season where he got hit pretty well against the Reds offense that was streaking from that point to, I think most of April, you could say. And it was the first game of the season. So I don't put too much weight into that. But game over game since that in his last, looks like 8 starts, he's literally improved game over game. So to get this at plus 133, I know he's going up against another good pitcher, but I mean, in theory, I think this should be closer to, I mean, maybe plus 105. I don't know.
Or even, I honestly think it should be more like
maybe even.
Even.
Yeah,
So this is
yeah. Go ahead.
Well,
That's
so
all
this
I
is
had to
kind of
say,
the
really.
same. This is kind of the same situation that we had a couple starts ago for Flaherty. We took him and the Cardinals at plus money on the road, just like they are today, at the Milwaukee Brewers when he was matched up with Corbin Burns. And it's really the same deal. I think if you have a pitching matchup like this, where you have 2 really high quality starters, the value is always going to be on the team that's at plus 133 if you get one there. So that's the value that we saw a couple starts ago with Flaherty against Corbin Burns, and it's the same value that we get here. And Giolito's not Corbin Burns. I mean, Corbin Burns is actually electric. There you go. You get your daily electric out of me. I will say right now, I think Corbin Burns over 5 innings, as he doesn't go past 5, but is the best pitcher in the game. Full stop. Aside from DeGrom, second best pitcher, we'll say. He's nuts. If you haven't actually watched Corbin Burns pitch, do yourself a favor and tune into that game today.
Yeah, it's kind of like MLB The Show and just like putting all the stats to like 99.
Mm-hmm. Corbin Burns is so much fun to pitch with on the show, by the way.
Yeah, we still need to go play.
I mean, you can come over right after the stream if you want.
I gotta
we have to work,
but we'll play.
But
yeah,
at
we'll
some
play
point
soon though.
But yeah, and exactly, and yeah, you're right on the money with the next thing I was gonna say. So Giolito, when he's on, he's again one of the best pitchers in the game, but he has been inconsistent this year. I mean, he's been lit up for 3, for 7, for 4, and for 5 runs in different starts this year. And the Cardinals, it's not like they're a team lacking for punch offensively. So I think, yeah, I mean, I think we've made our point why it's a value play.
Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't be surprised, Nick, if this one creeps closer to plus 120 in the next few hours.
No, I completely agree. And I think on other books it kind of is in that vicinity. So it's plus 125 already on Superbook. I think it's 130 on DraftKings, or 131 maybe. Oh, it's actually all the way down at 118 on DraftKings.
Yeah.
It was just plus 130, I swear. Like half an hour ago.
Doesn't surprise me.
On DraftKings. How about the strikeout prop for who? For Flaherty or for Burns? I mean, I don't... The White Sox team isn't one that strikes out a whole ton. So I don't want to touch the strikeout prop. I think that Flaherty's going to get his fair share of Ks. I also think that... I think that there's going to be a lot of just kind of weak contact balls in play from Chicago.
Yeah, Flaherty isn't the biggest strikeout guy, but at the same time, I mean, he has put up 9, 6, 6, 7, so that's a little over average, I would say. But he's not, he's not a guy like Bauer who's, pushing it 9, 10,
or like Burns, who's had 9+ every game this year.
Oh yeah,
in
Burns
5 innings a game.
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah, Flaherty at 6.5. I don't think there's really a lot of value on either side of this. In my opinion. So we actually have a second pick from this game. And that pick is going to be the Nerfy from this one. So Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about that one as well?
I mean kind of going along.
It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, with what I said. And, you have 2 pitchers have been decent. And I actually don't have the first inning numbers in front of me. Maybe you do, but kind of goes into the point with what TKO said. The Cardinals' bats have struggled a little bit. So this kind of goes into the first inning. I think they can muster it up enough to, make this a good game, especially if Flaherty's pitching well. But yeah, in the first inning, we like the value. Both pitchers very solid, and I like the value of this number. I mean, I'm at minus 120.
120, yeah. So I have to do this stupid thing where I have to put on the ending screen for a second. We're not ending. To update the widget. There we go. I don't know why the first one updated and then I had to do that for the second one. But yeah. So I think the numbers, if I remember correctly, Giolito's given up runs in 3 first innings this year out of 9 starts, and Flaherty is at 2. Or maybe it's actually 1 for Flaherty.
Well, it definitely was that
but
first
still
game.
Not a lot. Yeah, against Cincinnati, he gave up 1. And then I think that there was one other start that he gave up a run.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But that's not bad. I mean, that's 2 out of...
Actually, no, I think it was only the 1 for Flaherty. Yeah, so Flaherty's 8 out of 9.
Nice, yeah. And that 1 coming again. That was...
first start of the year, big win blowing out at in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark. And he only gave up 1 run in the first inning that game.
Yeah.
He got blown up in the second.
Cardinals scored 6 in that one. That was against our good friend Castillo, I think.
Is he your good friend though? I've been telling you the whole time. He had one good game against San Francisco, the team that's but even besides the game against Castillo, strikes out more than any other team against righties. And he still gave up 9 hits in 5 innings that game, plus 4 walks.
Well, I think I've come to the realization that he's definitely struggling after what you said. But there's a few people in the Discord who are still. They're like, no.
Well, I mean, I know Jack is riding with you.
Next game, baby. He's got it next. And then it's like, okay, the next game after that, yeah. So. But yeah, keeping it simple here. This is the value play.
Yeah. So the other one that we were looking at here was the nerfy, the kind of obvious nerfy in the game between Milwaukee and San Diego with Musgrave and Burns. So Musgrave hasn't given up a run in the first inning in 9 starts this year, and Burns has only given up 1 in the first inning, which was in that game against St. Louis, where it took a bloop single and a stolen base and a ground out that advanced the runner to third, and then another bloop single to score the run against Burns. But that one is sitting in like the minus 145, minus 150 range. So we think that this is the better value play between those two. Although that's another solid one.
Yeah, there's some interesting nerfies on the board today, but yeah, the value all over the place. So I think there were only a few games where things were closer to even money, but some pretty crazy numbers. So just keep that in mind when you play these nerfies. You gotta find the value.
Yep. And then it's always tough with aces on the mound, because they're the guys
they always look good.
All right. Are you ready for the next set of picks, Ben?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. So again, we have 2 more picks coming from the same game. So our team total, or not our team total, our game total and our player prop from the same game. So team total, we have under 9 runs in the game between Cleveland and Detroit. And our player prop is going to be Aaron Savale over 5.5 strikeouts. So Ben, you talk a little bit about Savale against the Tigers offense, and then I'll take the other side.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, this is one of those guys, Nick, that I feel like, you and I, we know about, but he seems to not get a lot of love. I feel like he's been really solid too. And I don't quite understand that. I mean, maybe it's because his stuff isn't. You know what I think it is, Nick? I think it's if a guy doesn't have like a crazy fastball or like a nasty slider, people just, I don't know, they They don't really give him a lot of attention, which is fine because I think I think he's in a great spot today. At 5.5, I definitely think he can do it against the Tigers' bats. They have definitely struggled this season. It's going to come down to those 2-strike pitches if the Tigers can somehow make contact, but if not, I like this number a lot. I'm surprised it's actually at plus money, Nick.
Yeah, I agree. I was expecting this to be more like minus 115, minus 120 type of thing. When you said that you like this, I was expecting it to be in that range, and then I saw the plus money, and I was like, oh, yep, that's a good one. Yeah, plus 100 on PointsBet as well. Still like it there for sure. So on the flip side, so why we like the game under in addition to just Savale pitching well against the Tigers. Well, actually, first, do you want to hear something crazy? So in the 2016 draft, the Indians drafted Savale in the 3rd round, and they drafted Shane Bieber in the 4th round, and they drafted Zach Plesac in the 12th round. That's 3 of the 5 guys in their rotation from one draft. And
Nick, you know a team who isn't doing anything like that, and we're never bringing up in their farm system?
The Rockies.
Yeah. You never hear like, oh, they had these 3. Yeah. Whatever. It's more like over the course of the year, or the course of the years, we end up having these guys who are really good and we trade them away. But that's a story for another day. But
the Rockies in that draft actually did take a pitcher 4th overall. Riley Pint.
Jack's confused now. Jack, did you miss his spiel about Scooball?
Okay, so I don't know if I gave the spiel on stream.
No, you gave it to me before. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
So I was actually really, really, really second guessing the Mariners moneyline pick last time out, because Scooball is really turning it around and pitching well. So we've been picking on this guy, and because we've had so many picks involving him, I've been tuning into his games pretty much every time out, and he has figured it out. He really has. And I feel a little bit dirty for saying that, but Scooball has figured it out. In his first few starts, he had quite a bit of control issues. So first 4 starts, like 2 walks, 3 walks, 4 walks, 3 walks, not really striking guys out, throwing up a bunch of meatballs, giving up homers. He's still giving up some home runs, but he's cut down on the walks, and his strikeouts have skyrocketed. So last 3 games, he struck out 9, 5, and 8 guys, and only gave up 5 walks combined in those 3 starts. And it's not just luck. His stuff and his control really do look improved. He looks like he's gained some confidence. He's cut down on the meatballs, and he looks good. And also, Cleveland's lineup is kind of low-key really, really bad. I think people kind of still have this image of Cleveland's offense as being one of the better offenses in the league, because over the last couple of years they have had a pretty solid offense. But the guys that they're trotting out, so Cesar Hernandez is a pretty mediocre hitter, doesn't really hit for power, doesn't have any speed. Ahmed Rosario, same deal. I mean, just a totally non-interesting, nondescript hitter. Jose Ramirez, what? Am I right or am I right?
No, you are. It's just funny when you said it to me. It was funny. You're like, no power, no speed.
Yeah, I literally went through the lineup one by one, trying to convince him of this.
But you're 100% right. I mean, yeah, there's nothing that really is exciting.
So Jose Ramirez is a beast. Franmil Reyes, the other guy who destroyed our Nerfy, by the way, a couple days ago, he's on the injured list now, so he's not playing. Jordan Luplow has some power, but he's hit 205 or worse in 4 of his 5 professional seasons. Eddie Rosario, just like the other Rosario, he's okay. He's serviceable, but he's not great. Owen Miller, playing DH, is a kind of meh prospect who came over from San Diego in the Mike Clevenger trade. Harold Ramirez is another guy who's just he hits for average. a little bit, but he doesn't hit for any power, doesn't have any speed. And then you have two kind of more defensive-minded players in Yu Chang and Austin Hedges, who both hit under 200 in their careers. Mm-hmm. So there's no juice in this Indians lineup.
Yeah, a lot of names that I am not familiar with, and I follow the game pretty closely, but a lot of guys, young guys, I mean, we can look at the averages here, who, yeah, it's not the best offensive lineup here.
No, it's not. It's a great defensive lineup, but it's not a run scoring lineup. But yeah, that's that. Oh, I have to actually show you guys this line also. So here we have I under 9 at minus 115. I'm actually gonna shop around for a second, see if we can get this somewhere else for a better number. There's minus 115 as well.
And Nick, I wanted to point something out. I guarantee you, people are looking at Skubal and they're like, "Well, he's 1-6, 5.45 ERA. Oh, this is over."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's literally how that's how most bettors look at this stuff, guys. Like we have to think most bettors don't even do a tad of research, and we dive
most
even
bettors
deeper.
Don't tune in on the weekly to Tarek Skubal.
That's very true.
Yeah. But I do.
I mean, Nick, you've probably watched Skubal more than 99.99% of the world.
I've probably watched Skubal more than his family.
That's probably true.
That's probably not true. His parents were in attendance at the last game, so
it depends. Depends, Nick. Are they watching him, or are they watching him?
I don't know. I'm not watching them, so to know how they're watching him.
Well, we'll put it this way: I think they love him more than you love Skubal.
I think that is an
accurate
statement.
I hope so. We're gonna have to make some phone calls.
Yeah, either to the parents or to the police. One of the two.
Hey, but Nick, I have a Bowman first card. I'll have to give to you now since you're a fan.
Hey.
Yep.
Yeah. So Rosario's tuned into the stream, probably going to be pissed. Bendo's story is a lock to hit a home run. Oh, also J Money. We were actually talking about the Rockies a little bit. We'll touch on that after the last couple picks.
Yeah, and we'll explain what Jack is referencing, because it's actually getting a little scary at this point.
It is.
We talked about the baseball gods. We have to figure something out here because they're toying with us right now.
Yeah, and Larry, I totally agree. So I saw crazy juice on Skubal case. I think it was only at like 4.5, but with a minus 160 or minus 170 price tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, over 4.5 minus 160. I mean, I totally like that, but I don't like paying 160 for it.
Yeah, that's. But Nick, what about this? What if it gets to 5.5 and is like plus money?
5.5 plus money. Then I think that's it.
Yeah, but it's not. It's realistically going to be what, like minus 115, minus 120.
No, I think it would go to like plus 110.
You think so?
For a full strikeout, yeah.
We'll wait and see. We got time.
Well, I mean, we've seen that before with say with Bauer last time. So that one strikeout was worth like 60 or 70 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, and the way I tell people with MLB, you have these lines and it's like a 24-hour window. You could think of it as like football, a line released on a Monday, and you have a whole week. So more or less 2 hours is like a day. So if that analogy made any sense to anyone. So you just got to be patient because stuff will move. So,
yep. All right, so last up, we have team total. Pick of the day. And I think that this one kind of just also gives a comparison as to how ridiculous the number of 9 is in that Cleveland-Detroit game. So our team total, we're going to take Rays over 4.5 at minus 110. And just for reference, Indians over 4.5 is like minus 110 to minus 120, depending on the book.
screams a little bit of mispricing there.
It does. But then which one is mispriced? I kind of think both are mispriced. But
that's the question, right?
But I think this one is mispriced. So
I agree.
Yeah,
and
so
tell us why.
So tell
We'll
us why.
you why.
So the Rays are good. That's why. The Rays are absolutely raking, especially against right-handed pitching. So let me pull my numbers back up.
And while you pull that up, Nick, I just want to say, Rosarena, we want to talk about young, fun players, and we talk about Luis Robert and what are some other
Tatis.
young guys? Tatis, yeah.
But
we got to talk
he's
about
young.
Tatis.
He's probably
But
younger than
Rosarena. I'm telling you, he's going to be a guy who's going to be in this league, and he's going to be winning All-Stars and batting titles, and he's great in the field too. Like he's all over the place, and he's been hot. So it kind of leads us into this one, and I'll let Nick continue.
Yeah. So the Rays, we've been following them along, with them recently. Like they had a bunch of, they were on the right side of some Blue Jays bullpen implosions.
Yeah, you could say that,
which was pretty cool. But they're just hitting really, really, really well especially against right-handed pitching. So in the month of May, they have the best. They're the best team in the league against righties. They're hitting .263, slugging percentage of .475, best in the league. WRC plus 138, so they're hitting 38% above league average against right-handed pitching, best in the league. They have 24 home runs in the month of May against righties. That's tied for third best in the league. They've scored the most runs against righties in the month of May. They're walking at like 12%, which is, I believe, the second best in the league against righties in the month of May. So they're doing everything right. They're hitting for contact. They're hitting for power. They're walking, so they're getting on base. And they're stringing together hits. They're scoring runs. And you have a pretty mediocre right-handed pitcher on the mound for Kansas City in Brad Keller. So Keller coming into this one with a 6.52 ERA. I don't think he's not 6.52 ERA bad. He's a better pitcher than that. He's shown that in his career. But there's something a little off with him. I mean, he's only had one start all year where he's given up less than 2 runs. He's not really getting blown up, but he's consistently getting tagged for like 3-4 runs. And I think that's perfect. So if Keller,
if we can have a floor of 2-3 from him, thank you. Like, we'll take that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Keller goes 5, gives up 3 or 4, and then it's a matter of getting in 1 or 2 on the bullpen. And I think that's a reasonable task, and I think that's a reasonable prediction of what we're going to get from Keller as well. I don't think that's a greedy, overzealous prediction at all.
And Nick, you want to take a guess who has the worst xWOBA and worst xERA in the league?
Brad Keller.
Well, he's at least 1 percentile. So technically, maybe he's not at the bottom, but he's in the bottom 1 percentile. So, and maybe that regresses a little bit, but you're near the bottom right now. So, this is just a matchup that is well suited for the Rays offensively.
Mm-hmm. There we go. And there it is on DraftKings, over 4.5 -110. It's looking like it was over 5 plus 100 on PointsBet. I don't hate that. I don't think it would have made the Wise 5 picks if it was at that number.
Mm-hmm.
Superbook has this at -120. I think that's fine. I think it's fine to pay some more juice than -110 for this. So let's talk about the Rockies real quick. So that is a interesting game based on the lines.
Very.
So it if you look at this, it kind of looks like it's a 7-inning game, right?
Does.
So
I mean, this has to be the tied for the lowest total of the year.
I think it's the lowest I've seen this year.
The lowest. Yeah.
There's got to be something else that hit 6, but having a total of 6 in a 9-inning game in Major League Baseball is kind of crazy. So DeGrom, obviously, best pitcher in the league, Kyle Freeland, not the best pitcher in the league, but he is a pitcher in the league. And that's kind of all it takes right now against the Mets. You don't have to be the best pitcher in the league. You just have to be a pitcher in the league. So I'm actually going to throw over the lineups.
Yeah, and while Nick does that, if you watched the game yesterday, which our Capwise subscribers got that over team total there, 2.5 for the Rockies, but Gomber literally looked like a Cy Young out there. I mean, he was dealing, and the Mets right now are struggling, and I mean the run support that DeGrom has had in the past has been terrible. And Nick, I don't want to make this assumption, but I'm going to anyway because here we are. I almost think it's one of those things where offensively the team feels a little bit of added pressure, I want to say, when DeGrom's on the mound off like the hit.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw it out there.
I agree because it's been a narrative for years that he gets no run support.
Yeah, and everyone knows it, and now you have a bad offense out there. It's just one of those things where, I mean, DeGrom will take a run and at this point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He just wants something out of them.
Mm-hmm. But so look at these guys. I mean, I really think that this New York Mets lineup would not look out of place in AAA.
No.
If it's like Lindor and Villar and Smith are there on a rehab assignment or something.
Yeah.
But it's literally like half a AAA lineup.
And Lindor's been struggling.
Yeah, and Villar's been struggling.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Villar on the year is hitting .211 with 4 home runs, and that's him playing pretty much every game all year. Lindor, everybody knows he's struggling, not living up to the contract. 189 on the year, 3 home runs. Cameron Maybin, classic number 3 hitter, is 0 for 19 on the year. Probably should not be in the major leagues. He got called up because they have so many injuries.
Yeah, he looked so lost at the plate yesterday.
He's washed as a major league player at this point. Dominic Smith hitting cleanup. I mean, again, this is a guy who should be a pretty good player, but he's only hitting .236 with 2 home runs on the year. James McCann. At catcher.
Did you see what happened, Nick, in the game with McCann?
No, I didn't.
So he was out at first base. He played first yesterday. First time playing first base since I think it was like 8 years in college or whatever. And he made this spectacular play, of course, right? He robbed a run. And I'm sitting there before the team total hit, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It was a really good play, too.
He's a catcher. He's not a dropper.
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, it just kind of goes to show like where the Mets are right now with their injuries. Like they're putting catchers at first. It's a tough time to be a Mets fan. But Nick, I will say something real quick about Kyle Freeland. So this is a guy who I personally met through actually one of my friends. He's a Colorado kid, and he had a really good rookie year about 3 years ago. Literally, almost like Cy Young numbers.
Is that a little bit of an exaggeration?
I'm not. Look him up. And it was in Coors Field too. But what happened is teams started to catch on to some of his stuff, and then he wasn't keeping some of his slider and even his cutter low, and teams were just waiting on it. And if they saw it in the middle of the plate, they were absolutely destroying it. So I just don't know what to expect with him now because he's coming off an injury. He looked better last season in the obviously the short regular season, but I don't expect the Mets to just tee off on him today. So you know what I'm kind of leaning on, Nick?
The under 6 or Rockies
under 6, but what about a Rockies? Well, of course the money line, but what about a Rockies run line? With a low total? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
So let's see. So
is
Rockies
it just better to go money line at this point?
Is -112. I mean, I kind of do like the run line play there. I think maybe a sprinkle on the money line. So if you're gonna
Yeah.
put a unit on this, say maybe a quarter unit on the money line, and then three
Yeah.
quarters on the run line, something along those
Yeah.
lines.
And another thing about the Rockies is they can play small ball if they need to. They have some really quick guys on the base pass. If Tapia gets on base, he's quick. They have Garrett Hampson. If Brendan Rodgers plays, they have a lot of guys who can steal. And I think at this point, when you get a guy on first base, Nick, against DeGrom, I think you kind of have to have that mentality, right? Like,
Yeah,
we got to do whatever we have to do to get this guy home. If we have to bunt, get him to second, be aggressive, because if you think you're gonna hit home runs and get base hit after base hit, it's probably not gonna happen.
no, it's not.
Man, what a this is such an interesting game. This one and the Milwaukee game, I'm definitely gonna be watching.
So yeah, I like that play quite a bit. We can't do run lines on the stream just because of the format that we've penciled ourselves into, but I do like that play as well.
Yep. What are the team totals? It's got to be
Rockies over under 2.
Man. That's right where it should be. I mean, so then
so I guess it
Nets are at
depends. So on
2.5, I
DraftKings,
guess.
Rockies over under 2.5, but the unders at minus 150. Mets over under 3.5, more or less even. I saw on PointsBet earlier. Rockies over 2 minus 136, under 2 plus 105.
So do you see anywhere where the Mets are at 4?
I don't think you're going to see the Mets at 4.
So on PointsBet right here, it's at 3.5. Okay, I see. Yeah, if you get a 4, I would be like, sweet, under. But
I mean, honestly, even
see
if
why they
under
wouldn't do that.
3.5 at plus 100, it doesn't seem like a terrible play.
I kind of like the Rockies under 2.5. After I just said the whole thing about the run line, but it's at minus 150. So
I think a game total under is a better play than that.
yeah, I do agree with you there.
Ready to talk about some NBA alt team total?
Depends if you can find it somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of the books are gonna give that out. Maybe FanDuel might. I don't know. I mean, what are you gonna get? Like a 3.5 for Rockies at minus 200? But then I just think the values. That's too much. Yeah, let's dive on into some NBA here.
All right.
So let's see the first game of the day. Celtics, Nets. I don't really have a strong opinion on that game. It's tough because you have the narrative of, do the Celtics try to win game 2? Are they going to come play hard? All that. But at 9 points, Nick, that's a lot. So I'm just staying away. I don't really know what to expect in that game. The Nets can just go off in 2 minutes, and all of a sudden you're down 10 after the game is tied. So there's too much variance for that team with me right now against the Celtics. So I have no opinion there.
Any
let's talk
player
about
prop leans or anything in that one?
No, literally nothing. I looked, and I just don't have a good feel of that game. And I also could see a blowout too. So that scares me because at minus 9, you throw up a KD prop and it's on pace, and then he doesn't play the last 6 minutes of the game. I don't want to be stuck with the player prop in a game where I have that notion headed into it. So I'm staying away from that one. But the game that I do like a few props in, Lakers Suns. So Anthony Davis had a quiet game in game 1. And if you follow this guy throughout his career, he's a guy who typically bounces back after bad performances. He doesn't have that killer instinct like LeBron does, where he should be bringing it every night. And it's not so much he isn't trying hard out there. It's just he isn't aggressive. And I think tonight it's going to be cooked into the game plan. He's going to definitely see a usage rate higher than game one. So I'm trying to figure out which one I want to play officially. So I'm looking at either the point total for AD at 25.5 or points, rebounds, assists. And I think it's at 33.5 or maybe 35.5. Let me see here.
It's at 35.5. And the over is juiced to minus 134.
It's just like one of those things where I think if the point total hits, that the RPA probably hits too. So I'm probably going to keep it simple, and I think I'm going to go with the point total over 25.5 for Anthony Davis tonight. I like that a lot.
Looks good to me.
Yeah, this series has been really funky, Nick, because first of all, Lakers were the favorites to win the series as a 7 seed. But in game 1, of course they were the road team. Suns were favored by 2. That's just something we've never really seen before. And then tonight, Lakers are favored by 2. So it's kind of unprecedented stuff in the NBA right now. So you really have to be careful trying to play these lines. So that's why I'm sticking with props. So I'm going to go with that.
Any other?
And Nick, AD could hit 30 points tonight and the Lakers still lose. So I don't think there's much correlation between him and the Lakers. That's probably it with this game.
So Jabo says, what about DeAndre Ayton? Any thoughts on him?
He looked really good in game 1. Let's see, what is his
point total
14
over
and a half?
14.5 is plus 100.
And I think he had 16 in game 1 or maybe more. Let's see here. He had a really good game. He had 21. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to stay away from this because I think you're just chasing now at this point. I mean, he went 10 for 11, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he shot the ball 11 times. It's not like I would feel better about this if he went even like 8 for 18, if that makes sense, just because that shows that his volume's higher. So that scares me a little bit. So I'm personally staying away from that one.
Yeah,
it's going to be a popular play, but
if he's taking 11 shots and hitting at the rate that he hit shots in the regular season, he's not at 14 points.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm staying away from that one. Yeah, so pretty much that's about it for that game.
Mavericks Clippers.
Yeah, so this is a lean for me. I have to think about if I'm going to play Clippers -7, but I definitely lean them. I think for me, I'm going to try to grab a live number and see if I can grab something closer to 4 or 5 during the game. And I'll feel more comfortable about this one, but I think the Clippers win this game. They were favored, I think, by 4 or 5 in game 1, and they lost outright. So, I mean, what this is telling me is you're back home. This is like I don't want to call it a must-win, but the urgency is there. So that's why I'm a little scared to play a -7, right? Because that's my thought process, and now I'm losing 2 points of value, more or less. So I'm going to try to wait to see if I can get it closer to 4 or 5 during the game. And Larry, I agree with you. I think they blow them out too. But I also thought the Jazz were going to blow out the Grizzlies in game 1. They lost by 10, so... Yep, and I think that's all I have for that one. Looked at some props. Didn't see anything I like. This one kind of has a blowout feel to me too, Nick, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're leaning blowout, especially player prop overs are dicey.
Yeah, unders might be a good look here. You know, like Luka under 28.5 probably could get some value here. Trying to look at some of the other guys. Yeah, that might be a look, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, like that. Like the try to grab a live number. I would say that's going to be my thinking headed into this one. So, Nick, any hockey stuff? Because someone said Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, so Carolina, man, they look like the much better team. They look a lot better than Nashville, but Saros is playing so well. Saros is just absolutely standing on his head out there. Looks fantastic. And in the playoffs, there's nothing better than a hot goalie. And it's not like Saros came out of nowhere, right? I mean, he's been fantastic all season. He's been fantastic for years. He doesn't get a lot of national recognition because he's kind of seen as the number 2 to Pekka Rinne, but he's really been the better goaltender for the last couple of years on that team. Carolina at home, they're really good at home. I mean, they're 23-5 on the year. At home, Carolina has probably the most fun fans right now in the entire NHL. But I'm seeing that line at like minus 210 for Carolina money line. And I just have a problem paying that going into a goalie as hot as Saros. I really think that Carolina should win, but it's just a steep price to pay.
Ayo. I did like how you said that. You're like, there is nothing better than a hot goalie during the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
How hot is he though?
How hot is he here? Let's see.
Because I personally don't know much about him, so. But you are right about that because following the NHL, you get those guys who are just stopping everything.
There he is.
Oh, I thought you were gonna pull up some stats, but
No. This is what you wanted, right, Ben?
I mean, he's a good-looking guy. I mean, if I were him, I wouldn't even wear a mask. But that'd be a terrible idea.
Yeah, that's a great way to die.
Yeah. But as far as his numbers, though.
I mean, he's I think the first goalie ever to put up back-to-back 50 save games in the playoffs.
Who is the
or no,
guy,
no, I think second ever. First since
Ducks.
Since Cujo.
Who was the Ducks guy, the goalie, who was just crushing it like 5 years ago?
Well, there's a Ducks goalie who crushed it like more than 5 years ago. That was Jean-Sébastien Giguère.
Oh, that's who I'm thinking about. Was that like 10 years?
It's probably more like 15 years at this point. He was the last player to win playoff MVP on the team that lost the Stanley Cup. That's how good he was.
That was 15 years ago?
I think so. Anaheim lost to they lost to Tampa, I think. And that might have been, I think that was 2004. That was the year before the lockout.
I thought there was another goalie after that who was pretty good.
There's been a lot of goalies who are pretty good. It's like a thing. There's always a goalie in the playoffs. I mean, so the Ducks had Ryan Miller for years and years and years after Giguère. He was a great goalie. I mean, he's an American hero. But yeah.
I just want the Avs to continue crushing it, man. They look pretty good in that series. Granted, it was against the Blues, but.
Oh, it was 2000. Yeah, 2003 when they won. When he won Conn Smythe, Giguère did.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. They're like, "Hey, here you go." But it was cool. I remember the fans were like clapping and everything. They were very appreciative because he was like making the craziest saves. I was like, "What the heck?" This guy's on X Games mode, man.
X Games. Have you seen the like the X Games type? I don't think it's actually in the X Games, but they have a downhill ice skating races. So they make like a.
I think it is in X Games.
Oh, is it in the X Games now?
That's insane. Looks like something out of like
that stuff is wild.
Looks like they're in like another planet. Like,
Mm-hmm.
who came up with that? Where they're like, hey, let's see how fast we can go on skates downhill with jumps.
Yeah,
Wild stuff.
it is. It's a if you guys haven't seen that, I looked up. It's called Ice Cross Downhill.
Crazy stuff.
Absolutely bonkers.
Nick, if the whole data, statistics stuff doesn't work out for you,
Is that my future?
I mean, seems fun until you crash.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I've been to the X Games.
Have you?
It's a crazy time. Yeah, out in Aspen. Then they started doing the what was it? Oh, when I knew the X Games were really crazy is when they started doing the tricks with the snowmobiles. I'm like, all right, guys. Literally, people died from that. Trying to do backflips and then the snowmobile lands on top of them.
Oh, I forgot.
My dark horse is coming along.
I forgot they had Winter Olympics. Here, I'm pulling up a video of this.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like the X Games now, they're just trying to come up with the craziest ideas that you're like, this is something you never thought would be possible, but here we are, and we're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Is it not playing?
No, I just have to change the crop on the screen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I miss slam ball, but that's just completely irrelevant to what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Something like this. These guys are nuts. Slam ball was the best too. Watch this. If you guys haven't seen this, this is insane.
Wait, scroll up a little bit.
What do you mean scroll up a little bit?
Just like
Oh, hold on. I just forgot to.
yeah, just a tad.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah, full screen, baby.
These guys are nuts.
They're just like, are there rules like you can't push each other?
I think so.
Yeah, they're going over like 30 miles per hour.
With the razor blades on their feet.
Damn. Can he get up? Or is he he can't get up the hill? Damn, that sucks.
Yeah. But that's that. It's pretty
That needs to be an Olympic event.
pretty interesting, I would say.
Oh man, if they had betting for slam ball,
Mm-hmm.
it's like over under like 20 dunks by one guy.
Yeah, we should bring back slam ball. We can have like the Capwise Slam Ball League.
Dude, I remember watching
The CSL.
slam ball and I'm like, I want to do that.
Oh, it looks like so much fun.
I was watching more slam ball than the NBA.
I mean, it's probably more exciting than the NBA.
Ooh, hot take.
I don't, is that even a hot take? Just imagine if you had like LeBron James and slam ball.
Oh my gosh, he would. I mean, it's gonna be like Space Jam coming up this summer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think it's time for us to go because we got into a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I
don't know how this happened.
Oh, we were just talking about stuff, you know. We're allowed to talk about stuff.
I know, but slant. We went from what's it called? Ice X,
Ice Cross.
Ice Cross to slam ball.
Oh, you said X Games mode, and then I brought.
Oh, it was my fault. Damn.
Yeah, come on, Ben.
I'm always like, how did we get here? And then you're like, it was you. I'm like, oh shit. Damn.
Well, I mean, you said that, and then I'm the one who brought that up. playing off each other a little bit.
Also,
yeah.
guys,
Oh yeah.
give us a follow if you're not already followed, and the reason why is so you can get notifications when we go live, and make sure to join our Discord if you haven't already. I know a lot of you in here are either followed or are already in the Discord, but there you are.
Also, if you are not already subscribed to the Twitch channel, no obligation to do that, but if you have Amazon Prime, you have no excuse to not subscribe. There's a way that you can link your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch account. There's a quick little 2-minute tutorial video for how to do that there. Once you have done that, you can come back to our Capwise Twitch channel, click the subscribe button on the screen, and subscribe to us for free with your Twitch Prime. No additional cost to you to do that if you already have Amazon Prime. It just costs a couple minutes of your time to link the accounts, and it helps support what we are doing here on Twitch financially. So we would appreciate all of those if you have that Amazon Prime account and have not already used that benefit of it.
Yep, and last thing, let's give a thanks to Bookit Sports for sponsoring the stream. If you guys haven't already, make sure to download the Bookit Sports app. Basically, it's Twitter for sports betting without the politics, and that's the easiest way that I like to explain it. Also, Nick, this is pretty cool. I was talking to Trent. This isn't live yet, but they're doing something pretty unique with how people present records and all that, because if you just play minus 300 and minus 500s, right, your record's going to be good, right? Like, then what are you proving? Oh, cool, you're hitting 68% of your bets, but you're playing all heavy favorites. They're going to have a score. They're calling it, like, right now, their Madden score, where it takes into account the value of the lines and if they win or lose. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited for that because
it's like a unit tracking as opposed to record tracking, which is what's actually relevant, right?
Exactly. But it also, I think, takes out the unit just a little bit, because people can just start manipulating that too as well. Like,
well, it should be everybody's on the same unit scale.
Exactly.
Doing it like that.
And I think that's the goal, right? Let's balance the playing field so we can actually see, who the best bettors are to follow. So
exactly.
So I'm excited.
I think that's something that this industry needs more of. Like, we try our best to be as transparent as possible, as consistent as possible with that kind of thing. But I'm happy to see that
people who are coming in
saying, like,
they have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you guys are only 55%. You suck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh God, I can't. I can't take this right now. So that's a story for another day.
It's a story that we tell like once a week.
I know. Every time we say that, we just tell it the next time. But I think we need to get Jason on soon, Nick, and just have a conversation about some more in-depth conversations on stuff on the book side. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to have like a panel type thing.
Yeah.
Just no picks, no nothing, just talking about the industry from different perspectives.
Because I think the live betting it's going to be the future, if it already isn't already. And I think there's a lot of, I don't want to say confusion with live betting, because people know what live betting is, but I think there's some misunderstanding with how the live betting odds are formulated. So I think that would be a really fun conversation too.
Mm-hmm. There's probably a lot of trade secrets involved in that from the book side.
Yeah, I was talking to Jason. He's like, I can tell you. He basically said, he's like, I know what I can already tell you, but it's going to be a lot of stuff that most of the public doesn't know. So I think it would be valuable, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll be like, Jason, tell us one trade secret, please. No, that's not going to happen. All right, guys. I think we're going to sign off. We will talk to you in the Discord, and best of luck today.
Yeah, and we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, 11 o'clock East, 11 o'clock Mountain, here on Twitch TV/Capwise with 5 more picks. Also, next week, streams might be gone for a couple days. If things go according to plan, I'm going to be moving. So if I'm moving, I can't be streaming. So there's a possibility that kind of like Tuesday, Wednesday type thing next week, we're gonna have some problems where it might be just Ben.
Yeah.
But we'll keep you up to date with that as things become more official, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Cool. See you guys.